Let me start with a truth most men aren't ready to hear. Women don't care how much you sacrifice, how much you give, or how far you go to prove yourself. Loyalty is not something you can buy, force, or negotiate through good deeds. And the harsh reality? Treating her well doesn't automatically make her stay. In fact, the more men try to earn loyalty through effort or generosity, the more they risk losing it. That's not a failure on your part. It's just the way female psychology works. Tonight, I'm going to explain exactly why loyalty doesn't operate the way most men think it does. Once you understand this, relationships will never confuse you again. Before we dive deeper, let's address a lie that almost every man is taught from a young age. We're told that being nice, supportive, giving more, and doing everything right is the formula for keeping a woman. So men follow this advice faithfully. They invest hours, energy, attention, money, and emotional labor into the relationship. At first, it seems to work. She notices. She appreciates it. She enjoys it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Appreciation is not loyalty. Comfort is not desire. Doing everything right might make her happy temporarily, but it won't make her devoted. And understanding this distinction is the first step to unlocking a deeper understanding of female psychology. Welcome to Empowered Heart, where we uncover the hidden truths about relationships, loyalty, and emotional strength. If you're ready to understand what really drives connection and attraction, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a video that empowers your heart. Here's the first psychological truth that most men completely miss. Women don't attach to effort. They attach to emotional experience. How she feels when she's with you is what truly matters. Gifts, favors, and sacrifices may get her attention for a moment, but emotional connection is what keeps her invested. If the energy, excitement, or intensity of how she feels around you fades, so does her attachment. And this is why some men who seem to do less maintain a magnetic hold over women, while others who give endlessly find themselves replaced. It's not luck, it's psychology. Emotional resonance beats effort every single time. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Have you noticed that some men hardly do anything at all, yet women seem obsessed with them? They call, text, chase, or even idolize these men. Meanwhile, other men give their time, attention, money, and emotional energy, but eventually they're left feeling confused, hurt, and abandoned. This is not a coincidence or some cruel trick of fate. It's a reflection of how female loyalty really works. Women's attachment is not logical. It doesn't respond to the number of gifts or the hours spent proving your worth. It responds to how you make her feel about herself, about life, and about being with you. Here's the core truth about female loyalty, and it's something most men never realize. Women are loyal to how a man makes them feel, not to his effort, consistency, or sacrifices. Their loyalty is emotional, not logical. When men try to secure loyalty by overgiving or overproving, they unintentionally communicate insecurity and fear of loss. Fear is a turnoff. When you're constantly trying to demonstrate your worth, it signals that you're not confident in yourself or in your value. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who fears she'll leave. Women are drawn to emotional strength, not transactional proof.
Think about it for a moment.
Every time you try to overcompensate, you're sending the wrong message. Instead of making her feel admiration, desire, and excitement, you're showing desperation. You're saying, I'm not enough as I am, so I need to do more. That is exactly the opposite of what triggers female loyalty. Women want to feel seen, desired, and alive around a man, not indebted or responsible for his validation. When a man understands this, he shifts from performing for loyalty to creating emotional impact, curiosity, and attraction. That is the real key to keeping her invested, excited, and attached.
Once you grasp this,
Everything changes. Relationships stop being about trying harder and start being about creating emotional depth. You stop measuring success by her appreciation of your effort and start measuring it by the way she feels when she's around you. Attraction thrives on unpredictability, intensity, and emotional resonance. Comfort and routine are fine, but they are not loyalty. Once a man realizes he can't buy devotion with acts of service or endless giving, he gains freedom. Freedom to be himself, freedom to create excitement, and freedom to understand female psychology at a level most men never will.
one of the biggest traps men fall into
Is believing they are not already enough. They think they have to compensate endlessly to earn loyalty, constantly worried that if they stop performing, she will leave. Even when these actions are wrapped in kindness, women can sense the underlying desperation. It shows up in the subtle ways you seek validation, over-explain yourself, or apologize unnecessarily. That desperation quietly erodes attraction and begins to shift her emotional experience. When women sense fear of loss, no amount of niceness, gifts, or effort can replace the emotional power of a man who is secure, confident, and grounded in his own worth.
Now let's dive into the second truth about female loyalty.
Women are loyal to emotional safety, not comfort. Emotional safety does not mean predictability or boring routine. It's about a man's ability to remain confident under pressure, to exercise emotional control, to create stability without aggression, and to stay strong even when challenges arise. A man who can regulate the emotional environment naturally becomes more valuable. Women are instinctively loyal to someone who holds emotional gravity, someone who can maintain composure and lead even when situations become tense. This is what keeps desire alive, not endless acts of niceness or performing for approval. Here's a truth almost nobody talks about. Women don't leave because a man is bad. They leave when he becomes emotionally weak. Loyalty leaks away when he reacts impulsively instead of leading, seeks validation instead of setting boundaries, or over-explains instead of standing firm. It's a gradual process. A man who was once confident begins to second-guess himself. He asks, "Are we okay?" after every disagreement. He apologizes unnecessarily. Slowly, she starts to disconnect, not out of malice or ingratitude, but because the emotional experience she once felt has changed. Stability, confidence, and emotional presence are the anchors of loyalty, and losing them has consequences. Now comes a concept that shocks most men: the power of identity. Women are loyal to identity, not to personality, kindness, or effort. Who you are fundamentally matters far more than what you do. A man with a strong identity commands loyalty even if his actions are imperfect. A man with a weak identity can give everything and still lose it all. This is why women respect men who walk away when disrespected, who do not beg or overinvest emotionally, and who do not collapse under pressure. High internal value naturally attracts loyalty. It flows upward toward strength, never downward toward desperation.
This can be a hard pill to swallow
Because society conditions us to believe that goodness alone is enough, that treating someone well automatically creates loyalty. But human psychology is far more intricate. Respect is not earned through what you give. It comes from how you value yourself. The difference between obligation and loyalty is crucial here. A woman can feel obligated, grateful, or comfortable, and still not feel loyal. True loyalty requires respect, which originates from self-control, confidence, and emotional leadership. When you understand this, you realize that your worth is not measured by deeds or sacrifices, but by the strength of your presence, identity, and how you make her feel emotionally.
Understanding the distinction between attraction and obligation is essential.
Attraction is rooted in emotional resonance, identity, and respect. Obligation, gratitude, or comfort alone cannot replace these core drivers. A woman may enjoy your attention, appreciate your sacrifices, and feel safe in your presence, yet still lack deep loyalty if she does not respect you. Self-control, emotional consistency, and the ability to lead subtly are what generate this respect. When you overcompensate or act out of fear of loss, you invert the natural flow, pushing loyalty away instead of drawing it in. Once you internalize this principle, you will never confuse appreciation or comfort with true devotion again.
I want you to really understand this distinction.
Obligation feels like debt, while loyalty feels like devotion. When a woman stays out of obligation, she is mentally keeping score, tallying every favor, weighing her guilt against her own unhappiness. She may feel compelled to stay, but her emotional investment is limited. True loyalty is different. It doesn't track deeds or sacrifices. It arises naturally from a deep, subconscious resonance she feels with you. She stays not because of what you provide or how hard you try, but because of who you are at your core. This is why understanding obligation versus loyalty is one of the most critical lessons for men.
Here's the next principle.
Momentum. Women are instinctively loyal to momentum. When a man is moving forward in life, growing, challenging himself, and creating a compelling future, she feels drawn into his frame. But when stagnation sets in, attraction fades silently. It doesn't matter how kind or generous he was in the past. Women live in the present. Who you are now, what you're building, and how you navigate your own life determines loyalty. Stagnation kills relationships far faster than arguments, distance, or conflict. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, but the spark dies when a man stops evolving. Growth is magnetic. Lack of growth is invisible, and invisibility kills attachment. Another critical truth is how a man handles loss. Women are loyal to emotional mastery as much as they are to growth or identity. When conflict arises, when circumstances threaten the relationship, does he remain grounded or crumble under pressure? Most men panic, react, or attempt to control outcomes through desperation. But a man who faces loss with dignity, who can say, "I care about you, but I won't beg," becomes irreplaceable. Emotional composure is rare and magnetic. It signals internal value, security, and self-possession. Women intuitively recognize this power. It's not what he says or does, it's how he carries himself under pressure that solidifies loyalty. Here's something subtle, but immensely powerful. Women don't consciously test men. They test emotionally. They pull away slightly, create small distances, and appear colder, not to punish, but to see how he responds without reassurance. If he chases, over-explains, or panics, he fails the test. If he remains centered, detached, but present, his value rises in her perception. Emotional restraint creates scarcity, generates intrigue, and strengthens attachment. Over-availability and desperation, on the other hand, undermine loyalty. Women are not loyal to men who surrender themselves emotionally or constantly seek validation. Emotional mastery, presence, and subtle detachment are what cultivate lasting devotion. Now let's explore what women are not loyal to. They are not loyal to over-availability, self-sacrifice without boundaries, constant people-pleasing, or emotional dependency. These behaviors may feel safe, but safety without attraction breeds indifference, the silent killer of loyalty. Many good men lose the women they love because they confuse submission with commitment, agreement with compatibility, or sacrifice with value. The truth is, you cannot be loyal to someone who has no self. When a man lacks direction, emotional control, and identity, there's nothing meaningful for her to anchor her loyalty to. Safety is comforting, but attraction is magnetic, and loyalty flows toward the magnetic. Perhaps the biggest mistake men make is equating love with loyalty. Love is emotional. It fluctuates with circumstances, moods, and experiences. Loyalty, however, is respect-based. A woman can deeply love a man and still leave him if he lacks respect, confidence, or emotional mastery. Conversely, a man who commands respect, even when she temporarily doesn't feel in love, will retain loyalty. Respect is structural. Love is fluid. This distinction explains why relationships sometimes end despite affection and caring. It's why giving more doesn't always work, and why being good alone is insufficient. Loyalty is anchored in strength, identity, and emotional leadership, not acts of service or generosity. So what are women truly loyal to? Emotional strength, self-respect, direction, identity, and the way they feel in a man's presence. This is why silence can speak louder than words, walking away can have more impact than chasing, and emotional restraint can outperform constant expression. Restraint signals power, presence, and self-possession. This is not about being cold, manipulative, or uncaring. It's about self-containment. A man who doesn't leak his value allows it to be experienced naturally. Strength is not aggression or punishment. It is knowing your worth, loving without dependency, and being willing to walk away from disrespect while remaining emotionally grounded. Why does being too good backfire? Why doesn't giving more guarantee loyalty? Because female psychology responds to who a man is, not what he does. When a man stops growing, stops evolving, and begins shrinking emotionally or mentally, he loses her attachment, not because women are shallow, but because growth and momentum are wired into attraction. Effort without identity, kindness without strength, and comfort without emotional leadership fail to inspire devotion. Understanding these truths allows a man to shift from performing for loyalty to embodying value, ensuring that loyalty becomes natural, automatic, and enduring. Here's the final truth I need you to understand. Female loyalty isn't about fairness. It's not about justice or who deserves what in a relationship. Women are not tallying up good deeds in the way men often imagine. Loyalty is primal. It exists beneath conscious awareness. It is driven by instinctive attraction to strength, emotional security, identity, and momentum. You can argue, fight against it, or label it unfair, but these responses won't change human psychology. They are loyal to strength, not to sacrifice. They are loyal to who you are, not what you do. Accepting this allows you to stop trying to earn loyalty and start embodying value in a way that naturally attracts devotion.
At the core, the takeaway is simple yet profound.
Loyalty flows toward men who embody strength, identity, momentum, and emotional mastery. It does not flow toward men who merely sacrifice, overgive, or overcompensate. Women are instinctively drawn to presence over performance, confidence over fear, and growth over stagnation. If you internalize this, you stop confusing effort with attachment and begin building relationships where loyalty is natural, automatic, and enduring. The men who understand this rule are the men women stay devoted to, not because of gifts or sacrifices, but because they embody value that cannot be ignored or replaced. Thank you for watching Empowered Heart. If this video resonated with you, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a video. And if this truth spoke to you, drop the word unshakable in the comments. I want to see who's ready to embrace their strength and own their loyalty.